Welcome back. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I did a live. The last couple of weeks I've had to help Puppy with some projects and I did not get a live done, and so I apologize for not getting on here. We're gonna do a couple of fun recipes today, and I'm excited to bring you guys along with me on these two recipes I need to get done this weekend. So as you guys know, I've dabbled a little bit in sourdough. I've never actually made a sourdough loaf. Still a little bit intimidated to tackle that project, but I do enjoy using my discard for a lot of things. And so today we're going to do two delicious discard recipes. Last weekend we had our Share the Love youth event at church, and it was an auction, and I won a sourdough start from a sweet friend there that has a start she's had for years and years and years, and she plays with sourdough. So I was super excited when I won a sourdough start last weekend so I could get back into doing sourdough things. I love making discard stuff. And so I'm going to make two fun recipes today with you guys with discard. If you've never used sourdough, I highly, highly recommend it. It is super good for your gut health. Sourdough bread and other things that are sourdough are super, super good for your gut health. I just noticed a couple of weeks ago that there's a company now that is selling sourdough pasta. I would love to try that. I'm actually going to try making some sourdough pasta from scratch in a couple of weeks. And so I'm building up my sourdough discard to do that. But today we're going to do two fun recipes with our discard, and I hope you guys are going to like these. My hubby takes granola bars in his lunch every day. He eats those in the morning with his Greek yogurt and fruit. And so I do try to make homemade granola bars when I can. The last few weeks, or the last couple of months actually, I have gotten granola bars on a really, really cheap discount price at Fred Meyer. So we've just been going through those instead. It was a lot cheaper than making them. But today I found a recipe that I'm going to try, and I'm super excited to try this. I am tweaking the recipe just a hair. It calls for chocolate chips. My husband was just not in the mood for chocolate. So he took me yesterday on a surprise Valentine trip to the coast. He knows I love the Oregon coast. We have not been there in several months, which is odd for us. And so we went to our favorite little town called Bandon. It's a little coastal town on the South Oregon coast. We went there yesterday, had lunch at our favorite little restaurant there, and we stopped at our favorite little shop there called Cranberry Sweets. I'll leave a link in the description box for their shop. They do sell stuff online. They'll ship all over the place. So if you're interested in checking out their dark chocolates and all the things they have there, check out their website. But we grabbed some homemade, or some cranberries that are local to Oregon. These are local cranberries. So we're gonna do these in the granola bars today instead of chocolate chips. He was just feeling that a little bit better than chocolate. So we're gonna go ahead and put these in there. I've got all of my ingredients for the granola bars sitting right here. We're gonna get these mixed up and get them in the oven. They're gonna bake at 350 for about 10 minutes. I am not going to put them in a 8x8 or a 9x9 pan like the directions call for, because I have my granola bar pans and I love these things. They are the best. It's a two-piece, so you have your lid and then you have your base right here. So I'm gonna use this to put my granolas. Hi Carolyn, welcome. So I'm gonna put my granola bars in these and put these in the oven. I think that's gonna work better for us. I think it's better for portion control. It seems to be a little bit easier for me to portion them out when I put them in these pans and bake them and then just pop them out after they've set. They're gonna be a little bit soft, so we do need to let these sit for several hours in this so that we can allow the bars to cool down and all the ingredients to come together. So we're gonna do our bars really quick. These are gonna go together super fast. Thank you. So yeah, we're gonna get our bars together really, really quick. We're gonna start with 2 cups of oats. I'm using old-fashioned oats. That seems to be the ones that I like the best when I'm making a granola bar, is to do that. We need 6 tablespoons of a really good quality peanut butter. We like to buy this Jif natural peanut butter. And so we are going to just put in our 6 tablespoons of peanut butter. Let me grab a spatula real quick. So we're gonna put our all natural peanut butter in here. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I don't think it's super important that we're exact on these. So I'm just gonna eyeball this peanut butter. It's just under a 1/2 cup of peanut butter. I think these are going to be delicious. My husband's going to love these. I love getting to make homemade things for him. So I think that is probably pretty close to that 6 tablespoons, so we're going to be good there. It calls for a half a cup of chocolate chips, so we're going to put in about a half a cup of these Oregon cranberries. This little shop over in Bandon, they have the best chocolates, absolutely the best chocolates. We came back with quite a few, I will admit. Hubby and I absolutely love their dark chocolates over there, so we usually stock up. We come back with several different chocolate, and we just kind of make those last over, you know, a couple of months before we get back over to the coast again. We're going to put in a little bit of vanilla. I'm using vanilla bean paste instead of regular vanilla. I love vanilla bean paste. So we need about a teaspoon or so. So I'm just going to put that in here. Just set that back there for now. I'm going to put in some peanuts. I'm using some dry roasted peanuts. It says to chop these, but I don't really think I need to. I'm going to just leave them whole. I think chopping them is just going to be an extra step. And so I think hubby will be fine. So we just need roughly a half a cup of peanuts. So I think that's about roughly 3 handfuls, I think will be good. And then we need some honey. It calls for 6 tablespoons of honey, so we're going to put in, I'm just going to eyeball it again. I am big into eyeballing when I'm doing this kind of stuff. When I'm doing actual baking, I'm more, you know, about following the rules, following the recipe, that kind of stuff. So I do tend to follow it a little bit closer. But for these, I don't think it's a big deal. So I'm going to mix all of this stuff up really quick. Get all of this combined with our oats. It calls for salt. I'm going to wait and use some fleur de sel, and I'm going to put that on top of these granola bars after I get them pressed into the granola bar pan. And after they come out of the oven, that's when I'm going to put on a little bit of fleur de sel, just to give you a little bit of salty bite to kind of break up that sweetness from the honey and the cranberries and the peanut butter and all the things that are in here. These are going to be absolutely delicious. Hubby is going to love these. And this will give him a really good healthy granola bar to get him through this next week. Now we need to put in our discard. This calls for, let me look real quick, a half a cup of discard is what we need to put in here. So I am going to pour out half a cup. So if you're not familiar with sourdough, discard is what you pull out of your sourdough before you feed it. So you have to feed it every single day. Your sourdough is alive. It is a living organism, and so you have to feed it. And so I'm going to pull a little bit out of this one. This is my sourdough that I have not fed yet today. So I'm going to pull some of this out. Because I need half a cup of this. I love playing with sourdough. And as I was saying, sourdough is so much better for your gut health when you are eating. If you're going to eat bread or anything like that, sourdough is the way to go. So we've got our half a cup of sourdough discard. We're going to pour that right in here. All right, let's get all of our discard put in here. I thought this was unusual, putting a discard in a granola bar. I have never seen a granola bar that has sourdough discard in it before. So I was super excited to give these a try. I know my husband's going to love it because he loves anything with sourdough flavor to it. So if you are new to my channel, please say hi. Let me know where you guys are from. If you haven't subscribed, please go hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you a part of our YouTube family. I am still getting over a cold, so excuse me if I am constantly clearing my throat. This cold has been the worst. I actually think it was the flu that I had, and it was obnoxious. All right, I think that looks pretty well mixed up, about like that. So I've got my pan. I don't need to spray this because it is a non-stick granola bar pan. I'm going to use a cookie scoop, sorry, to scoop out this dough. And I think it's probably going to take pretty close to 1 scoop per granola bar. So I'm just going to get them all scooped out, and then I'm going to go back over and pat them down into the pan so that it can go in the oven and bake up. They smell incredible already, even though they're not baked. But I really want to get these packed down in this granola bar pan. I do have a second granola bar pan, so I can just use the rest of it in another pan and be able to get both of these baked fairly quickly. We still have one more really super fun recipe that we're going to do for you guys that's also using a sourdough discard. It's one of my husband's favorites, but we are making this batch for a friend. Hey Ryan, welcome. I am making some sourdough discard granola bars, and I'm also going to make some sourdough discard cheese crackers, kind of like Cheez-Its, but they are made with a sourdough discard. So if you're not familiar with what discard is, I was just explaining it is the, before you feed your sourdough every day, you have to take out some before you add the new flour and water, and that is what is called your discard. And so a lot of people throw the discard away. I don't. So I'm just going to use my hands to kind of push these down into the mold. If I need to add a little bit extra, I will. If I have a spot that isn't quite filled in. But I want to get these nice and packed down in here, because as they bake, if they're not packed in there, then they are going to fall apart when you pull them out of the pan. So we have to be really careful that we get these all packed down in here nice and tight, adding a little bit if we need to, just to get the pan full. Make sure all of these spots for these bars are completely full. Right now I am making a sourdough discard granola bar, and then in just a few minutes, once we get these in the oven, we're going to start making some sourdough crackers. If you're not familiar, sourdough discard is what you take off of your sourdough every day when you feed it. So you have to feed it flour and water every day, and before you add in the new flour and water every day, then you take out some, and that is what's called your discard. All right, so I'm going to get these mashed in here the rest of the way. I think hubby is really going to enjoy these granola bars. They're a little bit messy, but I think it's going to be okay. I'm going to put just a little bit extra in a couple of these. They're not completely full. I just finished planning out my menus for next week, which gives me a guide for my videos that I'm going to be doing next week, and we've got some delicious recipes that'll be coming out. That video will be coming out in a couple of weeks. I think these look great. Need a little bit extra in this one. I was a little bit shy. Like I said, you want to really get these packed down in the... No, I stayed home when we had the snow. But yesterday, Tony and I went to the coast for the day, and it was so funny because we left in the morning and it was super cold here. We still had snow on the ground, and we get over halfway to the coast and there was none. So obviously they didn't get any over that direction. All right, we just got to make sure we get all these full. This is the tedious part. Yeah, I think Tony's going to really enjoy these. I just want to get them all packed down in this. I'll see. I'm not sure if Pampered Chef still sells this granola pan, but if they do, I'll leave a link in the description box. My friend down the street, I think she still sells Pampered Chef, and I'll leave a link for her website. And you guys, if you want to pick up one of these pans, if they still have them, I'll put it in there. So like I said, we want to make sure we get these packed down. Okay, so here's the first pan. You guys can see it's going to go in. I need to wash my hands real quick. This is going to go in the oven. Alright, so I'm going to put this one in the oven. It's set at 350. You can see our bars. Put that in there, and they're going to bake for about 10 minutes. While those are in the oven, we'll go ahead and do our other pan. Finish off the rest, which I don't have a ton left, so it's only going to probably give me about 3 or 4 more, which is fine. But I want to use up all of this. So we only have about that much left. So 350 for roughly 10 minutes. I'll watch them, and if they're starting to get too golden brown, we'll go ahead and pull them out. But I want to make sure that they get all the way done, because if they're not all the way done, they're not going to stay together. So I'm just going to finish scooping this out. Looks like we're going to get about 4 more granola bars. I think these are going to be delicious. Okay, let's go ahead and get these. So if you wanted to, I could have done it, but I forgot to do it. You could wet your hands. Hey Karen, welcome. So you could wet your hands if you wanted to, which would help the mixture not stick to your hands, but I didn't do it, so it's fine. So we're going to pack these in here. So Karen, we are making sourdough discard granola bars, and I just put 1 pan in the oven. This is the second pan, using just the leftover mixture. And then we are, after we get these done, we're going to make some sourdough cheddar crackers. They are one of my husband's favorites, and I won a discard last weekend at the youth auction that I did all the treats for. So I bid on a sourdough start from a lady in our church that has had a sourdough going for a long time, and so I won a start from her. And so my husband was telling our friend at church about, hey, welcome. My husband was telling him about our sourdough crackers that we make. And he also won a sourdough discard and has never played with it at all. So I'm going to make a batch of those crackers to share with him so that he can try them. And I'm kind of helping him with his sourdough journey, kind of helping him with figuring out how to work with it, because he's never done any of it before. Yeah, it was a super good price, considering that I killed my last sourdough start in December when I got sick. I was so sick for so long that I didn't get in the kitchen, had no energy to do anything, and so I didn't get anything done with my sourdough. So I ended up losing it. So that was super sad, but it's okay. I won a new one, and I also found out that this sweet friend of mine at church always has a start if I need one. So if I happen to kill this one, which I hope I don't, but if I happen to kill this one, I know where I can get another start without a problem. So I'm excited about that. So now we're going to get going on our sourdough cheddar crackers. These are super, super easy. You killed yours too. It's super easy to do. It's awful. They die so quickly. I was just saying earlier in the live that hubby took me for a surprise trip to the coast yesterday for Valentine's Day, and we had lunch at our favorite little restaurant. I mean, I know it's a 3.5 hour drive from here to Bandon, but it was worth it. He's been working a lot. I've been working a lot. We haven't had time to really spend together. So it was good just to spend the day together and connect and, go someplace that we both love, and just took an entire day and did it, and it was so fun. But so when we were going over on the trip, we stopped at a place called Cranberry Sweets. They are in Bandon. Gonna try one more time. I made this. I think this is the same cracker that I made in the discard video that I did maybe last year. It's been quite a while ago. I haven't done a discard recipe for quite, or discard video for quite a while. So we went to Cranberry Sweets in Bandon, and I got some Oregon cranberries. They are dried, and I was super excited to use those. These granola bars that are in the oven. They originally, the recipe said to use chocolate chips. Hubby was not feeling chocolate chips today, so he asked me to use the cranberries that we got from Bandon. So we're using those, and they are fresh local cranberries, so that is super exciting. Cannot wait to try those granola bars when they come out of the oven. So we're gonna get our cookies or crackers going. I need 3/4 cup of shredded cheddar cheese in my bowl. This cracker recipe is super, super easy. You almost cannot screw this up. It is so easy. Very minimal ingredients. It is just 2 tablespoons of softened butter, flour, your discard, your cheese, and then I do a little bit of Florida salt on top. With this cracker, you can put everything bagel seasoning on them if you want to. You could do a ranch seasoning on them if you wanted to. I have a jalapeno bagel seasoning that my husband loves. I could put that on there. But I'm just going to keep these super simple and super easy because, as I said, we're gifting most of these to our friend at church that is trying to learn to use sourdough and has never done anything with it. So he was super excited to get to try these crackers that my husband has been raving about for so long. So we're going to get started on this. I've got 1 cup of flour. I'm going to put that in my bowl first. And then I need 2 tablespoons of softened butter, and we're going to cut our butter into our flour. So let me get this butter in here. And I'm probably just going to use a fork to cut this in. It's the easiest way. If you don't want to have to get out your pastry cutter or whatever, you can just use a fork to do that. So I'm going to cut this flour in, or cut the butter into a flour before I add my discard. So I just have a fork, and we're going to just cut this flour. It's kind of like making biscuits almost. Speaking of biscuits, I found a new recipe for a discard biscuit that I cannot wait to try next week. I just finished, I was telling everybody in the beginning of this live that I just finished this morning putting together my menu for next week and getting my grocery order in. I have to go pick that up this afternoon at Fred Meyer. And so I just got my menu put together and all of that. So I've got a new biscuit recipe that I'm going to try. So you guys will be seeing that video in a couple of weeks. My videos got kind of not behind, but I have them all. But I had 2 collabs that came out this last week, and that really kind of threw off my uploading schedule for the videos that I have filmed. So starting this week, tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Monday, you guys should see the week of recipes that we did 2 weeks ago. You guys will see those, and then moving forward until I have another collab come up, you'll be seeing what we've been eating, and we've been eating very well, let me tell you, friends. Our recipes that we've been doing here recently have been incredible. So, all right, let's go ahead and get our cheese grated in. And I'm going to do small grade on my grater. And I need 3/4 cup of cheddar cheese. These crackers, like I said, are so easy, and my husband goes nuts over these things. Thank you, Ryan. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm super excited. I think I'm going to end up making. We just had some snow. We got snow Thursday. It wasn't very much, but we did get a little bit of snow on Thursday. And so I literally stayed home all day because our roads were not the best. We don't get enough snow around here where I live that our street maintenance people, they just are never very well on top of it. My husband left for work super early Thursday morning and said the roads were terrible on the way to work. So I'm glad I stayed home. All right, so I need to do 3/4 cup of our discard. We're going to mix that in with our cheese. So I'm just going to take it right out of this jar, because I need to feed my sourdough this afternoon. So I'm just going to pour this right out of here. This is about what I will be feeding it later. So it'll be fine. So we're just gonna add our discard in here with our cheese and our butter and our flour. And then I'm just gonna use my fork to mix this. I'm gonna get it partially mixed up, and then ignore the dogs. And then I'm gonna put it on my board, and I'm gonna roll it out here. Oh wow, that's not fun. We got a notice last week on Wednesday, I think it was, that we were expecting severe weather, and everybody around here was kind of freaking out because we had a severe ice storm last year about this time, and it was awful. And so everybody was thinking that's what we were in store for again, was a huge ice storm again. Okay, I'm going to take off my rings because I need to use my hands to get in here and mix all this up. Sometimes with me, I would rather just get in the bowl with my hands and mix everything up together than using a fork or pastry blender or anything like that. It's just easier for me. So we're just going to mix this all together. Get all of our dry dough up off the bottom of the bowl, and then we'll dump it on our board and get it rolled out. The thing with these crackers that I've learned over the last year or so of making these is that you have to roll these out super, super thin. If you don't roll them out thin and you've got some thin parts and some thick parts, your crackers are going to not bake at the same time. So the thicker ones are going to take more time than the thinner ones, and the thick ones are really not that good. They're very chewy. I want a good crisp cracker. So almost got it. Just got a little bit more flour down here I need to get up. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do it on the board. So let's get the rest of our stuff out. All right, I'm just going to use my hands to knead this. I'm just going to knead my dough until I get all of this flour incorporated in here. And all of the dough together. I want it incorporated to the point that when I knead this, that I'm not getting any more dry dough falling off the dough. I was saying earlier in the live, I'm going to be doing some sourdough pasta in the next couple of weeks. I have it on the menu, not this week, but I think the following week. And so that's going to be super fun to make. So I'm going to roll this on parchment. And that's the other secret to this cracker dough is if you roll it out on your flour, on your wooden board or your counter, you're never going to get it up. It's too thin. So you're better off to put down your parchment and roll it that way. So you guys can see that dough. It's nice and soft. It's not dry. So we're going to put a little bit of parchment paper down. And I've got my rolling pin out. Move this stuff out of the way. Don't need any vanilla in my crackers. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the middle of my board. And what I like to do with this, because I need to get a rectangle. That's what I need out of this. So I'm going to take my hands and just kind of shape this into a rectangle. If you try to roll this into a rectangle from a circle or from a ball, it's never going to work. It's just, you're always going to wind up with a round, and it's not going to be what you want. So I'm just going to keep moving this around the parchment paper until I get this into the thin thickness that I want, and I want these super, super thin. I'm going to say almost paper thin is what I want. It takes a lot to get it that thin. So you really have to have patience and a little bit of time to do this, because if you don't get it, like I said, to the right thickness, you're going to have chewy crackers and not crunchy ones. And I really want mine this time to be super crunchy. Nice and thin. You want to make sure, one of my other mistakes that I was making with this in the beginning was I was not making sure that the middle was as thin as the edges. So I ended up with thicker crackers in the center and thinner crackers on the edge, and they weren't consistent. So I'm trying to be really careful this time and making sure that the middle is as thin as the rest of it. But these are looking incredible. I think we are right where we need to be with our thickness. I think I've got exactly, can I tell you, friends, those bars smell so good. Yep, I mixed it by hand. I have to. My grandmother did the same thing. That was the way she always mixed things. Some people are kind of grossed out by that, but if you've washed your hands and your hands are really clean, there's no reason why you shouldn't. Okay, so I think I'm going to roll it just a little bit more. I can still feel a little bit of thickness in the center, and I don't want that. So I'm going to go one or two more times with the rolling pin just to make sure we're nice and thin. And also, the thinner the dough is, the thinner the dough is, then the faster they're going to cook. They're not going to take as long as if you were doing a thick cracker. So I think this is probably pretty good. So you can see our dough is fairly thin. I'm going to look at our granola bars really quick. Nope, they got a couple more minutes. So the best way I have found to cut these crackers is with a pizza cutter. That way you can get nice straight lines and be able to get these in really good shapes. The end ones right here are not going to be beautiful. The ones in the center are the ones that are going to be perfect, and those are the ones that I'm probably going to gift to my friends. The outer edge ones that are not perfect are the ones that we're probably going to keep and eat. So let me grab my pizza cutter. I forgot. I try to make sure that I'm always organized and I have everything that I need when I start these, and sometimes I forget. So these on the ends over here, I'm just gonna even up my side over here, and I'm just gonna cut those. Like I said, I'm gonna end up keeping these corner pieces for my husband to snack on, and the ones here in the center I'll just put in the bag, and those will go with me to church tomorrow for my friend. So the ones here in the center are the ones that I'm going to make look really, really good. So these right here on the end, I'm going to move these to the back for now so that I can get the rest of these cut without those being in my way. Okay, so I have this big piece right here in the center, and we're going to cut this. Like I said, we basically want Cheez-It size crackers. Okay, so then these two ends over here, I'm going to pull those off so they're out of my way. And then I'm just going to cut these this way. The other thing that you can do to these is, well, first off, you do have to poke a hole in the top, because if you don't poke a hole in the top of these, they will puff up and become more like a puffed cracker, and that's just not what I want. So I will end up putting a hole in these. I will either cut them or poke them with a fork, or I'll poke them with a toothpick, one of the two, but most likely it'll be a fork. So these, I can just now take these and separate them out a little bit. They don't have to be completely separate, but you want a little bit of room in between them. And then we can cut our other small pieces. Like I said, these are not going to be perfect crackers. These are just going to be for my husband to snack on when he gets home this afternoon. He'll be excited about that. So I'm just going to cut these into some little pieces and let him snack on those. Once I get this onto my cookie sheet, I'll spread them out a little bit more. But you can see how easy these crackers were. You lost interest. What did you lose interest in, Karen? The crackers? I might end up having to do these in 2 batches. I'll end up getting a second piece of... Oh, internet. I thought you said interest. I was like, interest in what? Even with my glasses on, I can't read. So I'm going to end up getting another piece of parchment out. In fact, I should do that now. Get my cookie sheet out real quick. And I'm going to put another piece of parchment on here. So then I can just start taking these off and getting them ready for the oven. Okay. So another little trick I learned from somebody else. If you ever fight with your parchment paper to get it on your tray or in your pan, crumple it up. And then put it down and it'll lay flat. All right, so I'm gonna put my crackers on here and get part of these ready to go in the oven as soon as those granola bars come out. These look perfect. These are gonna bake at 375 for about 10 to 15 minutes. And you wanna check them because you wanna make sure that they're not getting too dark. So this will probably take 2 rounds in the oven, I think, for these crackers. I tried a different recipe this last week. They were not good. They were not. In fact, I can show them to you. This tells you that they were not that good because they're still on my counter. But they just did not, that's not what, I don't know, they weren't what we wanted. They were not a really good cheese cracker. So we did not gift those to my friend. Okay, we'll have to get a toothpick or something to be able to put holes in these so that they don't blow up on us. But I think these look great. These look exactly what I wanted. They're not going to spread, so we don't have to worry about that like when you're making cookies. They don't spread out. I want to try to get most of these on here if I can. It's such a pain when I have to make several batches of something. I might be able to get them all in at the same time. That would be great. We'll just get a fork out and we'll get these. The recipe does make a lot. It really does. And that's what I love about these crackers. We've had these crackers. I make them in the summertime. My husband loves to have them in his lunch. And they are great if you're wanting to have a really good cracker with some soup. These are really good. Okay, well, have fun, Ryan. I'll come into the store soon. So for those of you, that's my cousin Ryan, and him and my cousin, his mom Tammy, own a cooking store in our area, and I love her cooking store. It's amazing. All right, I'm gonna grab a toothpick so we can put a little hole in these, and you just have to have a little hole right in the center. Just take your toothpick and wiggle it around in the middle so you get a hole in there, kind of like on the Cheez-It crackers. And then these are going to be ready to go in the oven. As soon as I pull those granola bars out, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to turn my oven up now. I'll bake the rest of those granola bars later. Just for the sake of not having this live be 2 hours, I'm going to go ahead and get these crackers in the oven so that at least you guys can see what these look like after they bake. Finish getting the little holes in them. I know that Cheez-It, when they make their crackers, I know they have a secret to how they get the hole in their crackers. I guarantee you they don't stand here with a toothpick and put holes in their crackers. I think those granola bars are done. I'm going to pull those out and I'll throw these in. Trying to make sure I don't miss any of these crackers. My cousin's store is amazing. It is incredible. It's called Pepperberries. I think she has a website. I'll leave a link in the description box for her website if you guys want to check her out. But here's our crackers going in the oven. I'm going to pull out these granola bars. Too many things at one time. So as I said, these granola bars have to cool completely before we remove them from the pan. So let's get our crackers in there and let those start baking. You can see our granola bars. Yeah, her store is super, super fun. I absolutely love Tammy's store. She's had it since, oh my gosh, she's had it for a really long time. And her sister, my other cousin, Shelly, has another store right next to her. They're called the McKenzie Sisters. And Shelly's store is called McKenzie Honey Farms. And she has a lot of really unique gifts and stuff in there. And I think she has a website also. If she does, I'll leave a link in there for hers as well, so you guys can check out what they have in their stores. But I'm going to get these holes put in these right here, so these are ready to go in the oven when that batch comes out. Hubby is super excited about having crackers again. It's been a little while since I've made these. So how is everybody's Saturday going? I've been so in the zone over here that I haven't even asked. We had some horrible weather this last week, and I'm thankful that it's starting to die down, at least I hope anyway. We only got snow one day, but when we all got the weather alert for our area last Wednesday, everybody kind of freaked out a little bit because Everybody was thinking that we were in for another big like ice storm or whatever like we had a while back. So thankfully it didn't turn out to be that way. It ended up being not much, which was good. So it was a lot less of a mess than we thought it was going to be. So these are looking great. I am still battling the cough a little bit. It's still hanging on, which is not fun. I'm over it. I would rather be able to just sleep without having to take cold stuff and not cough all the time, but it's getting better. It's just taking a while. Nothing they can do for it. But these are looking, like I said, they are gonna, if I try to take these out now, they're gonna fall apart. So I really have to leave them in the pan until they cool down completely so that they fully set up before we take them out. But if you've never tried making homemade granola bars, I highly, highly recommend it because they are, they're super good. And I love that you can control the ingredients that go in it. Nowadays, if you look at granola bars, the ones that are less expensive are so full of stuff that's not good for you. And the ones that are really healthy and good for you, you almost can't afford to buy them. There has been a lot, yes. She's one of my best friends, and she's the children's director at our church. Her husband had pneumonia twice. He got it right after Christmas. Him and I both got sick within a day of each other. And he was sick for a week, went to the doctor. They said he had pneumonia. They put him on antibiotics. He took all of his antibiotics, was feeling great, and then took a turn again and started having some more problems and went back to the doctor. And he was on a second round of pneumonia. So he had to go back on medication, and hopefully they have it under control now, but we'll see. We just keep praying for him to get better. But it definitely has been a sick season around here. It's awful. Making sure I haven't missed anything. It has been hard to shake. I feel great other than the cough. That's the only part that is still sticking around for me, is that cough is just annoying. I've had enough of it, honestly. I'm super excited about all of the recipes coming up this next week. I have spent a lot of time looking at recipes, getting hubby's opinion and all that, and so he's excited about that. This next video you'll see on Monday. It's going to be our week of meals from 2 weeks ago, and we had some delicious stuff that week. And then super exciting, next Friday you will see our meals from this last week, which I did an entire week of sheet pan meals. And so that's what you guys will be seeing next Friday. Is that video will be coming out, and you'll get to see everything was new to me. I had not tried any of these sheet pan meals before. And so it was super, super fun to get to try some new sheet pan stuff. And it's so funny because I got this idea to do sheet pan meals last week and do a whole video series on it. And I did them, and I was like, why don't I do these more? They are so easy, and you have almost no dishes, but I always forget about them. So I'm going to try to incorporate more sheet pan stuff as I can, because yeah, sheet pan meals are great. We did 4 sheet pan dinners. Oh, I'm sorry, Karen. So we did 4 because we went to the coast yesterday, so there wasn't a 5th dinner this last week. I was fine with that. I got to enjoy fish and chips and chowder at my favorite little fish place over in Bandon, and it was so beautiful over there. We got rain once, and it rained for about 10 minutes, and then that was it. And then the rest of the time it was just beautiful over there, and so that was super nice. I was very thankful to have a day of beautiful weather on the coast. And the ocean was extremely crazy yesterday, though. Yeah, there's some good ones in that one. That one is, I'm super excited about that one. And the week before, the dinners for that week were super good too. Don't miss that one on Monday because those were incredible dinners as well. Hey Cindy, welcome. We still have a little bit. I've got crackers in the oven, so we're not going to end the live until I get those out because I want you guys to see those. But we made some delicious. We're playing with sourdough discard today, and I won a discard from a sweet friend at church last weekend at our youth group Share the Love event that they had, and so I was super excited to have a new sourdough to play with, and so we made these are some discard granola bars that we just made, and I put these in my silicone granola bar pan, and I love that pan. If you missed the beginning of the video, this pan comes with a lid, so you can store these right in this pan if you want to. Pop the lid on it, and it keeps them sealed nice and fresh, and you don't have to try to take them out and put them in anything. You can just leave them in there to so they don't, you know, sometimes when you make granola bars, they're a little bit sticky once in a while, and they'll stick together if you put them in a bag or a container. That's why I love this, that you don't have to take them out of the pan. You can just put this lid on it, and it just sits on my counter, and it's perfect, and it makes it super easy. So yeah, the pan is super cool. I said earlier that my friend sells Pampered Chef still, and if they have it still in stock, I will leave a link for it on her website in the description box for you guys. I'll go see if I can find it. And or maybe instead of looking, I'll text her and let her look because Tina loves doing that. So maybe if I can find it, I'll text her and see if they still have the silicone pan. If they do, I'll put a link in there and you guys can go check it out. But I love it. I don't just use it for granola bars though. I use it when I make cookie bars a lot of times. Instead of putting them in a pan and then cutting them, I just take the dough and press it into each one of the little holes, and I end up with cookie bars, and they're great. So I use it for a lot of things. I've made brownies in it. I made brownie bars. It's super, this pan is super versatile. I made yogurt bars in this one time in the summertime, and they were fantastic. I don't like plain Greek yogurt. My husband does, but I don't. It's just too jockey for me. So I used a really good vanilla honey yogurt, just a Greek yogurt, and I mixed in fruit and a little bit of nuts, and then I put them in this pan and stuck it in the freezer and let them freeze nice and hard. And oh my word, friends, it was so good. Those were so good in the summertime when it was really hot here, and to be able to go just in the freezer, pop one of those out of the pan, and it was so good. I've even made little ice cream desserts for when we've had guests for lunch or whatever. So there's lots and lots of uses for that pan. It's not just for granola bars. I do lots and lots of things with it, and it's just super fun. Let's look at our crackers and see how we're looking. They're getting there. I see one that I forgot to put a hole in. Okay. All right, they got just a few more minutes, but they're looking great. I love Zoe, and I like the honey vanilla. That's my favorite. I love Zoe, but I'm just not a Greek yogurt fan. I watch people that can eat straight Greek. I'm like, oh, I can't do it. My hubby grosses me out. He uses protein powder, and I put a little container of Greek yogurt with some fresh blueberries in his lunch every day. He loves it. He eats it in the morning. And he will put on just straight protein powder in that. Oh, like how can you, first off, protein powder is so chalky. And then you add the Greek yogurt that's also chalky. I'm like, I would gag on that. There's just no way I could eat that. Like, no, thank you. I'm just not a fan of plain Greek yogurt. But I do love Greek yogurt as long as it's flavored. It's got to be like the honey vanilla, or the vanilla, or a blueberry, some kind of flavor. It has to have something in it, or I just can't do it. Yep, me too. I am a flavor girl. I don't like things that are flat and just, monotone. I can't do that. I've got to have some good flavor in it, or I just can't do it. I'm excited about these granola bars though. This was a new recipe that I had never tried. Oh, hey, here we go. They've cooled enough that I can pull it out. So there is one of them. I think I'm going to give it a try. It's still warm, but I think that's okay. There's the inside. They smell really good. Mmm. That is really good. I can definitely taste the sourdough. Mmm. Hubby is gonna love those. He doesn't like things that are too sweet, and the fact that these don't have anything in them but honey is gonna be perfect. He's gonna love it. These cranberries are amazing. I will, as I said earlier, I'll leave a link for Cranberry Sweets in Bend, Oregon. I'll leave a link in the description box for their little shop over there. The cranberries, the chocolates are phenomenal. They are so good. I have all the chocolate that we got yesterday is sitting over on the table looking at me, and I'm trying to resist getting into it until hubby and I enjoy it together, because I got 2 of each flavor, and I'm trying to be really good and not get into that chocolate until he gets home. We probably have some tonight, but they have really good stuff there, and they will ship. Yes, the granola bars they look great. I mean, I love that there's the great ingredients are so simple and so clean. Like I said, it's sourdough discard. I used an all natural peanut butter, so it's a peanut butter with no sugar in it. It had honey, it had oats, the cranberries, peanuts, and it had the sourdough discard, and that's all that's in it. They're super good. Hubby is going to be happy with those for sure. We're getting there. I was saying earlier, I didn't get a live done the last 2 weekends. One Sunday or the Saturday I was helping hubby with a project, and then last Saturday we tackled my office. And oh my word, friends, my office has become a catch-all. Yeah, I like them with coffee too. My office has become a catch-all, and it's a nightmare. Christmas came down. I still wasn't feeling great, so all the Christmas stuff got thrown in my office on the floor, and it was a disaster. And so I made a huge donation run and a big load to the dump, and got rid of a whole bunch of stuff. Still have a little bit to do in there, a little more organizing to do, a little more purging. I'm just finding that I have so much stuff in there that I don't use, and so I am just trying to be better, about not storing a bunch of stuff. So that was last Saturday. The weather was horrible, so he couldn't go work up in the woods, and so it was the first Saturday he'd been home in quite a while, and I thought I better take advantage of his help while he's here, because there was a lot of stuff that needed to get done. So he stayed home and helped me, and we got my office tackled partially, and I'm excited. I found some cookbooks that I have not seen in a decade or more, and so I have been slowly going through those and finding some recipes that I have not made in a really long time. So I'm going to share some of those with you guys in the coming weeks. So Monday is all the recipes that we made 2 weeks ago. Some delicious dinner recipes, and then this next Friday, you guys will see the week that we had last week, which we did all sheet pan dinners. And so there's 4 delicious sheet pan dinners in there. It does feel good to do that. I need to do it a little bit more. My next project, once I get my office situated, I need to go through all of my cupboards in this kitchen, because I have things that people they know that I understand. I love their heart. Don't get me wrong. I love their heart. I love the fact that they feel like they want to give me these things, but everybody knows that I love to cook. And so they're always giving me a bunch of stuff. And there's a lot of things that they've given me that are fantastic. I use them all the time. but there's a lot of stuff that I've been given that I don't even use. And so they've been sitting in my cupboard for years. And it's just really time to start purging that stuff and get rid of it and make room for the things that I do use all the time and that I do have. Maybe I don't use it all the time, but I would like to be able to use it. And so I'd like to be able to get it in the kitchen so it's where I can have access to it and not have to go in my office to get it. I have so much cooking stuff. One of these days, when I finish getting all the stuff put away in my office, I will show you guys my shelves in my office because I have 3 racks, those big Home Depot racks in my office full of kitchen equipment. That is just, I mean, yeah, I have massive kitchen stuff. It's almost embarrassing how much I have in there, but part of it is I used to sell Pampered Chef for years, and a lot of that is Pampered Chef stuff that I got when I was selling it, and so I got it for free or discount or whatever, and so a lot of that's where that came from. But I do have a lot of kitchen stuff, and it's time to get rid of some stuff. Let's check these, see where we're looking. We're almost there. I'm gonna go ahead and flip these over. They're getting brown on one side, so I'm gonna just flip these real quick. Bear with me for a second while I flip all these crackers. They're very hot. You can see they're almost done. I just got to get them a little bit brown on the other side, get them flipped, and I think we're going to be done here in about 5 minutes. I cannot wait to try one of these. They take a little bit of time. I mean, as far as like the baking process goes, it takes a little bit of time, but they're really not hard. But like I said, just a couple more minutes in that 375 oven and they're going to be ready. They are going to continue to crisp up a little bit after they sit. So just a couple more minutes and they'll be ready to go. They do look really good. They smell really good too. I can smell all the cheese. It does add up after a while. We've lived in our house for 32 years. And yeah, you know how that goes. You just start collecting things. You start, getting more and more stuff. And, yeah. We don't even really do Christmas anymore because it's really bad, but I don't need any more stuff. That's the thing. I don't need any more stuff. So my husband's family and my family, they know if they are going to get me something, Oregon Duck gear is about all I need. I don't need anything else. I usually get plenty of Oregon Duck sweatshirts and jackets, t-shirts, that kind of stuff for Christmas, and it gets me through the next year. As you guys all know, I'm a huge Duck fan, and so I try to go to as many games as I can during the football season, and so being able to have, some new Duck gear is always a good thing, but I just am at the age in my life where I don't need more stuff. I've got everything. I am extremely blessed, and I don't need a bunch of stuff, so I am trying to just say no to people when they want to offer to give me more stuff. I'm trying to say, no, I don't need any more stuff. So, but yes, so we will, I'll finish the crackers after. I'm going to take those out here in just a second. I'm going to finish the crackers later and I will finish those granola bars. I have a grocery order I need to go pick up at 3. And, so that will be for next week's recipes. We've got 4 or 5 yummy recipes coming out next week that you guys don't want to miss. And then still planning my live for next week. If there's something that you guys would like to see me do in a live video, let me know. Put that in the comments for me, and I would be happy to see if I can do that. I'm always wondering what I can do in a live video. They're kind of hard, because if it's something that takes a whole lot of time, it just, it's hard to do them if they're super, super long. But if there's something that you guys would like to see me do in a live video, please let me know, and I would be happy to try to incorporate that into a live video soon. A jelly roll. Yes, that's something we could do. We could definitely do a jelly roll. I was going to do a jelly roll for the youth auction. That was my plan, was to do a jelly roll for the youth auction. But when I was planning my desserts for that, I was asked by a couple people to make the carrot cake that I had made last year, because it was the favorite out of all the desserts that was made last year at the auction. So I was asked to make that again. And then I had a sweet friend ask me to make some red velvet, because she wanted to make sure that she got to bid on that, because that's the dessert she wanted. So I ended up making 2 different little mini cakes, the carrot cake and the red velvet both. And so I do want to make a jelly roll pan. They're super easy, Karen. I know they can look intimidating. In fact, I was intimidated the first couple times that I made them. But once I realized that it just is a matter of several really simple steps, it's not hard at all, and you can totally do it. And you can fill them. If you don't feel confident enough in making a filling for it, you can just use jam. My grandmother used to just use a really good jam in them, and they were delicious. But you can make your own filling for them if you want to, which I probably will, but that's just me, because I love making things homemade. You know what? I've never heard of a pea salad with bacon and peanuts in it before. As you know, I'm not a pea fan. My dogs are barking now. My mom used to make a salad. I'm sure you probably have seen it. It's the layered salad. Have you ever seen that one? That one has peas and bacon in it, not peanuts, but it has peas and bacon. But it's a layered, you want to put it in kind of a trifle bowl or something that you can see the layers in. So even a clear glass salad bowl or something, it would work. But it's a layered salad that has like a mayonnaise dressing that goes on top. And it's always a huge hit at potlucks. I don't know why. I'm not a pea fan. So I eat the salad, but I pick all the peas out and give them to my husband, because I am not a pea fan. I just don't like them. I think it's called a 7-layer salad. There's a couple there's the Mexican 7-layer salad. Oh my gosh, $10 a pound for a salad? That's insane. I'll see if I can find something. I know my mom has lots of pea salad recipes. I don't buy deli salads. They're not my favorite. I love potato salad, but I don't like a potato salad that they put big chunks of onion. I can't do it. I'm not an onion fan, and so I can't eat a salad. When I bite into a chunk of onion, I'm done. That's it. So I do put onion in my salad, but I grate it with a grater, like a cheese grater. So that it is super, super, super fine. And you still get the great onion flavor, but you're not biting into a piece of onion, because I just cannot stand onion. So I don't, let me go grab my charger real fast. My battery is just about dead. Okay, let me plug my phone in real quick. Okay, now we're in business. They are super expensive. Eggs are insane. I just got eggs in my grocery order and it was $10 for a thing of eggs. Luckily I had a $1 off coupon, but still, good grief. That just made me so mad when I saw egg prices going that high. All right, here's our crackers. So these are going to finish crisping up the longer they sit. So sitting outside the oven like that, they are going to continue to get a little bit more crispy. They're crispy right now. I'm not going to eat one because they're very hot, but these are what these, let me grab the, see if I can put the pan over here so you guys can see. The pan is very hot. Okay. So you can see the crackers. They're very crunchy. They're lots and lots of flavor. $4.50 isn't too bad. But I've seen some of them that were like $12 a dozen, and I was like, that's insane. But yeah, these are nice and crunchy. You can hear tapping on them. They're nice and crunchy. Let me put one down on the counter for a second, let it cool for just a second, and I'll see if I can taste it for you so you guys can see what. So I'm going to move this. And I'm going to put this last pan of crackers in the oven while we're just standing here. I'll be able to get those done before I leave to go get the groceries. So here's one of our cheddar crackers. Crunchy. They're so good. They're delicious, friends. You know how crunchy that is? You can see the inside. They're super, super good. They have great flavor. I love them. So good. They're really, really good. I kept them really plain, like I said. Yeah, they're super crunchy. I would, if I was making these for us, I would have put some kind of a seasoning or something on top of them. But because these are going to my friend at church, he's a very simple guy. He doesn't eat vegetables at all, like no veggies. He is a meat and bread guy. He eats dairy, but he is not a veggie person. And he's very limited, like in his seasonings and stuff, he's very, very simple. So I didn't put anything on these because I don't know really what he would want. So I just kept them really simple. That way he can try them. And then when he makes them, he can put on what he wants at that time. But yeah, they are super crunchy and they are so delicious. And you saw how easy they were. Super, what, like 4 or 5 ingredients? 5 ingredients. That's it. That's all that goes in those. And you look at the crackers in the grocery store, the list of ingredients is like this. And so it's very minimal ingredients, super, super good. And because, like I said earlier, they're made with sourdough discard. Sourdough is so good for your gut health. And it's so good for your gut when you're eating it. Better to digest. It digests a whole lot easier than just plain white flour or wheat flour, anything like that. Sourdough digests a whole lot better. So yeah, we got our cookies, we got our bars done, we got our crackers done. This was super fun, friends. Thank you guys so much for joining me and hanging out in my kitchen today as we made a couple of fun recipes with our sourdough discard. I'm going to feed my sourdough and get it ready for another recipe tomorrow. After church, I'll be making something else. But as I said, don't miss out on the video on Monday's coming out, Monday morning. You guys will see that video for all of our recipes we had 2 weeks ago. And then this Friday, you guys will get to see this last week's video with all of our sheet pan dinners that were super delicious. And yeah, we're just going to keep going, friends. Hopefully nothing will come up and we'll be back to a live on this next Saturday. And we'll see you guys then. Thank you guys all so much for joining me. It means the world to me that you guys take time out and come hang out with me in the live. come and watch all my videos. It means a lot to me. So I appreciate each one of you guys. We'll see you guys in the video on Monday. Have a great weekend, friends. Bye.